Fresh Baked. We're at Disneyland to update you guys on what's happening at the Disneyland Resort. We're going to go through the entire park. We're going to go to every land, every attraction. We're going to look at the crowds, we're going to look at the queues, and we're going to talk about what's new at the Disneyland Resort. It's our State of Disneyland report. Let's take our ceremonial walk down the steps at the Disneyland Railroad Main Street train station to reveal another wonderful, lovely, beautiful afternoon here at the Disneyland Resort. It's really been quite remarkable, quite spectacular, the way the crowds and everything have come together during this Halloween season. I've remarked in other videos that I was actually surprised, impressed with the response of the fans here at Disneyland during the season. I thought it would die down by now, but they have maintained full vigor here at Disneyland all the way through this entire Halloween season, and now we are on the home stretch of that season as we prepare for Christmas, the next holiday, the Christmas holiday season starting in November. And allow me to show you just some of what we're seeing here on Main Street as we prepare to update you guys on what's happening. There's up a horseless carriage. You can go up to 7 miles an hour. Actually, that's kind of bare. A lot of crowd up here, but nothing in the foreground here. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the first topic of our show, the first topic of our update for these State of Disneyland reports, and that is the crowd levels, the accessibility of the park. How easy is it right now to go to Disneyland during the summer? Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot, guys. The summer was a breeze, easy, no problem. Is shockingly slow. As I've been mentioning, Halloween, they picked it up a notch, and that is still the case. It is still pretty difficult, actually, to get a reservation for Magic Keys. You look at the calendar right now, it's the same story that we were getting before. Weekdays are more available than the weekends. Part of that is Disney's intentional strategy of forcing those Magic Keys into the weekdays they want us to go, which they've successfully done that to me. I've transitioned to a weekday guest. So the weekends unavailable for October and become a little bit more unavailable in November. Part of that reason is the Enchant Keys are blocked out, well, partially blocked out for this month and part of November. It's an interesting thing. You look at, let's say, the Fridays in November. It's one Friday's blocked, and then the next one isn't. And then the next one's not blocked, and then the next one isn't. Or vice versa, one of those two. I don't have the actual image in front of me. But then there's the reverse happens to the Inspire Key. Now, when you see a Enchant Key blocked, that date is typically available for Inspire Keys to reserve. But when an Enchant Key is not blocked, then they scoop up those dates. You look at, there's a Sunday coming up in October, or the Sundays are a little bit more available. Or I should say that the Sundays are available to Enchant Keys in October, so they're harder to get here. Even you can get a date for Saturday with Inspire Key, but you can't get one for Sunday. If you ever needed evidence to show that the way they've got this is kind of backwards, that's it right there. I don't believe that the Inspire Keys should be sharing a bucket with well, actually, I think each key should have its own bucket. But that's what happens when you open up Enchant Keys and Inspire Keys, then it makes it more difficult for the Inspire Key to get a pass. This is old conversation. The fact is that even though it is certainly more difficult to get a reservation right now, you just have to be willing to grind a little. You have to be able to work at it a little bit. I don't have a problem with doing that, but I know that there's a lot of Inspire Keys out there who don't feel like they want to sit there and spam the refresh button all day trying to get that reservation. They don't want to stay up until 11 o'clock at night or what have you. So they just give up. And in spite of the fact that this is obvious, and this is the case, in spite of that, Disney, I think that's the way they want it. I really do. That's obvious that's the way they want it. So we either have to put up or shut up, I guess, which I'm putting up. and shutting up. I don't know what the phrase is. I'm dealing with it. That's what I'm saying. And I guess everybody else has to as well. But that is the state of things right now. That is the state of the accessibility of Disneyland. It's pretty much the same story that we were telling a year ago. Wow, right? Can you imagine that we're having the same conversation a year later? I would have thought for sure that they would have come around on the reservation thing by now. And I keep looking for clues that is going to happen, but I mean, all evidence to the contrary. They seem to be perfectly fine with how things are going. I don't know. With that bit of commentary out of the way, let's go to Adventureland. And by the way, I don't want to make it seem like, and I want to say I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm upset about it. I mean, I don't like the reservation system, but I'm dealing with it, I'm fine with it, and I'm not trying to like rail or sound angry. If people get upset when I get negative, it's just I'm trying to update everybody on what's happening and what the status of things are, and these are things that I have to observe, good or bad. So it's part of the job. Like I said, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of Genie Plus, but it's part of our experience, and that's what we have to deal with. We're going to be talking about Genie Plus today, by the way, because that is something that has changed since our last update in September. But as we record this right now, and it's a Tuesday afternoon, about 12:30. It's kind of not bad right now. Actually, it's kind of not bad. Oh, we got some happy folks over there at the Jungle Cruise. That's awesome. No, I've definitely seen and felt worse than this before. So the narrative today, I'm going to guess is busy still. I'm going to call busy. But so far it's kind of pleasant. Jungle Cruise looks a little parked right now. I'm just peeking up there right now before I can get the camera over there. And looks like they're parked up there on the top floor. 30-minute standby. And the queue is poking out. But it's not in the rear section, which is, never a good sign. So 30 minutes, that's not bad. Typically the Jungle Cruise doesn't lie. It's not always right, but if it's wrong, it's usually wrong on the higher end. It's usually quicker than the wait board or the wait time suggests. Although that's just sort of anecdotal, using my vague recollection of things when I have measured it. I'm gonna have to do some actual, like a 30, I have to do a 30 ride on that one, because the queues for non-Lightning Lane attractions definitely behave differently than the queues for Lightning Lane attractions. Speaking of which, here's a shocking development. That's a null result on the wait time board. Standby wait time is 0. What he's saying is that it's down, but it could be coming up soon. I think. That was the vibe I was getting. Yeah, it's closed. Big surprise. I actually haven't seen it closed very much recently, but I mean, there you go. You haven't been to Disneyland if you haven't been and Indy closed on you. Oh. Our current state of the treehouse. We're still not running the water wheel or the buckets, but it looks, I mean, there's no scrim or scaffold anywhere. I mean, they're pretty much there, I think. They're pretty much done. Now it's just waiting for a date. I don't know if you guys caught our construction update, our last construction update, but we took a good long look at the treehouse, and I feel very optimistic that we're close. Oh, wow. That's looking a little sticky right there. Look at that. Okay, the board says 20 minutes for Pirates, 20-minute standby. But I mean, that looks, I guess, and there ain't a single queue. There ain't a single queue I've ever been afraid of at Pirates of the Caribbean, no matter what. No matter what. You can stick that thing anywhere in New Orleans Square. I'm like, I'll get in it, no problem. Pirates don't scare me, ever. And this is one of those occasions where it's a little longer than you're used to seeing out here. creeping out into the middle of New Orleans Square. But again, I ain't worried. I'll get in that, no problem. That is 20 minutes. It looks scarier than it is every single time. Oh, here we go, Tiana's Palace. No standby queue. It is high noon right now. It is about 12:30, peak time for dining at lunchtime, and there's nobody out here. Oh, here's the back of the queue right there. I mean, I've seen French Market like that. I've seen French Market stick out here, so things have normalized quickly at Tiana's Palace. I do wonder, though, what the mobile order situation is. Let's take a look. Well, there you go. About three and a half hours right now, although that varies. It goes up and down by an hour or so, if, you know, depending on if you refresh it or when you get in there. But three and a half hours right now. It's 12:30, so you're looking at 3:30. That's not, I mean, it's not bad for 12:30. Usually these things that were selling out, the mobile orders were disappearing completely for the entire day by noon, when they first opened. So things are improving on that as well. Got to get that mobile order booked early, and I do recommend doing that. Although this standby, that's probably the queue that we're looking at there is maybe 20 minutes, is my guess. This queue tends to flow a little more freely. The standby queue does a little more freely than, let's say, Galactic Grill or Hungry Bear, because it's the cafeteria style or buffeteria style in there. So as you're walking through, they just kind of give you your food right there. You don't have to wait for them to prepare it for you. It looks like that. Oh my gosh, yeah. We got since we started recording this bit. This is the back of the queue right here. They're twisting it around the perimeter. So apparently everybody showed up all at once. If I had started this bit 10 minutes later, I'd be like, oh my gosh, things are still happening at Tiana's Palace. Things are still happening at Tiana's Palace. The show moves on. Let's get into the backside of New Orleans Square, down Royal Street. Jack and Sally. Very busy as usual, as I've mentioned in the past. Remember this for future years. Don't try to wait for the right time. It's going to be like that. Like that. Always. Always. No breaks for Jack and Sally. Looks like the mint julep. Wow, this is kind of shockingly light for the mint julep bar. For 12:30. And it's not even because they're, the more optimal use of the switchbacks here. There's just only 8 people in the queue right now. That's kind of surprising. Hopefully they're getting mobile order on that as well. But normally you would see the queue running all the way back there. Pardon me.
Maybe, yeah.
No, where we were.
I see no guests right here, which tells me Haunted Mansion is closed. The garden, the fountain area should be full of guests right now, but I see nobody. Indiana Jones is closed. Haunted Mansion is closed. Mark Twain, down for refurb. The next attraction, Splash Mountain, aka Tiana's Bayou Adventure, also closed. Is that triggering any of you? Are you triggered? Look at this, there's a lot of folks just standing by, waiting for it to reopen. They are on lockdown. Slowly making my way past the mansion here. So we've seen, let's see, Tiki Room, Jungle Cruise, Indy, Pirates, Haunted Mansion, and the Mark Twain. We've seen 7 attractions. And what? 4? No, and Tiana's, that's 8. 4 out of the 8 attractions are not operating at this moment. Mark Twain, Haunted Mansion, Indiana Jones, and Splash Mountain. Well, that's the sound of whooping and hollering that we hear up there. I don't see where it's coming from. I think it's the middle guy in a yellow shirt, not wearing the orange vest, that's doing whatever it is that we're hearing. Yes, that was him. It's like a little mini, what are they, like a jigsaw, I think? Well, let's keep this party moving. Are the canoes running? Let's hope the canoes are going. I see guests. Okay, good. I'm so grateful for the canoes. We can't see anything because they have umbrellas up. But I'm so grateful that this attraction exists. I wish I had more capacity, but it's one of those things that just makes Disneyland what it is. And the good thing about it is that they won't get rid of it because it doesn't. The river has to exist whether or not you have the canoes. It's not like you can take the canoes out and put something else here. It takes up so little space. There's no physical overhead at all. So you can just put this here and it doesn't keep you from doing anything else. So that's good. Job security for the canoe commandos. I love the canoes. I just love that they exist. Same thing as like, Main Street music, like the Dapper Dans and the Straw Hatters and the Pearly Band. I'm just happy that they exist. During my we did an acoustic recently, which I'm not sure if I published it yet on the Theme Park POV Pros channel, but we did a full walk through the park, took about an hour, but this queue was enormous. It was so busy back here at Critter Country to the point where I was like, holy heck, how is that possible considering Splash isn't even open? But look at this, you've got a full queue here at Winnie the Pooh. This is why these attractions exist, because they gobble up people, they gobble up guests who are looking for things to do and don't want to spend 45 minutes to an hour waiting for an attraction, which I've done twice today already. You can knock this out in 15 minutes tops. It's great, and it's beautiful to look at. We did a video recently talking about all the reskinned attractions in the history of the park, and one that I forgot, because I asked, what did I forget? People said, hey, you forgot Winnie the Pooh. It was reskinned from Country Bear Jamboree, which is true. I did miss it. Where I would rank that is I think this is an improvement. I think Winnie the Pooh is an upgrade. Even though we didn't get the really good one, the trackless one, I still think it's an upgrade. The queue is beautiful. I love the music. I love the vibe. I love the Winnie the Pooh vibe. The Country Bear show was just too long. You just sit there forever, and it's just, it's cute, and it's got some sort of nostalgic value, which I appreciate. And I also love the mile-long bar, that kind of thing. But, if you were to ask me to choose one, I would definitely choose Winnie the Pooh over Country Bear Jamboree. Commentary aside, though, things are jumping back here in Critter Country. Things look to be happening. I'm really pleased to see this. Again, it makes me happy that people are not forgetting about this part of the park, in spite of the fact that Tiana's Splash Mountain is under refurb, or whatever you want to call it. I think that's great. I love to see this, man. Respect. This is what look at. Come on. Look at. Just come over here with me. Would you? Look at. Now listen to that, and then watch. If you're not coming to Disneyland for that, then why are you coming to Disneyland? Like, they understood the assignment. When they built Winnie the Pooh, they understood the assignment. I'm sorry, that's just the way I feel about it. Country Bear is a thing of the past and everything, but that's a great attraction. Very, very underrated attraction. There's the other boat traffic on the rivers of America right now, the Columbia. The cannon is back at work. It had been offline, intermittently for the past few months, but it is back online today.
Yeah, go ahead.
So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But yeah, I love to see this on the river as well. Oh my. There's Roberto. He's taking a selfie. Hey Roberto! I just got in his selfie, that's awesome. Exhibit 27 on why Disneyland cast members are the chosen people, why they're the best in the world. Disneyland specifically Disneyland cast members are just the best. They're the best people, the best everything. I love you guys.
Bowman, and the starboard forecastle cannon and prepare to fire a warning shot.
And that cannon.
So any curious pirates hiding near the shore will know we are well armed. Those of you round the cannon best be stepping back. Way back. For the cannon should be a mite loud, and the gunner's aim be a mite cool. Be ready to fire one. Fire one! Now that should put some fear in them.
Since our last update, I have finished our Rise of the Resistance recon. The video is in production right now. I'm about halfway through the editing process. So I expect to have that video ready by, what's today, Tuesday? Friday, I think? Maybe Thursday if we're lucky? Friday, probably Friday. But let me just give you a quick analysis. So if I were to, having done the 30 rides, let's say you watched it too, and you were to look at this queue and say, hey, what should I do here? Well, first, where this queue is right now is larger than normal. This is a larger than average length of a standby queue. The most common place for it is more in that U section back there, what I call section 3. We'll get into that in that video. And then also it is often the case where it's just over here in section 1.
Bright sun.
Bright suns. Thanks, guys. But I would say so far that's not a good sign. Now we're going to compare that. We're going to take a look at the wait time, the standby wait time, and we're going to look at the individual lightning lane queue and the app, the return time. That says 100 minutes. Holy heck. In my 30 trials, I saw a time that long only once. I don't have to look much further. We don't even have to look at the return time for individual lightning lane to know this is a no-go. Because right now, back there, if you see individual lightning lanes posted, like you're seeing there, if they're waiting, if they're collecting, then standby is bad. Standby is going to be bad. One thing I like to do was when I was in the cave back there, in standby, right about where the waterfall is, I would look out to see, if I felt like we were getting stuck inside standby, I would look out and see if I saw a lot of people walking by. And if I saw a lot of people walking by right there, then I knew that we were in trouble. I'm really proud of the work that I did on that video, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. I hope it's useful. You're going to have a very intimate understanding, hopefully, as I do, a very intimate understanding of how Rise of the Resistance works, the queue and the standby and all that stuff, and when is a good time to go and when it's not. And I'm hoping that we can apply that to other attractions. I've already started collecting data on Radiator Springs Racers, and I'll also begin working on the Matterhorn, and I will be also doing Runaway Railway, because that's going to be a thing people are going to want to know. It's different. What you knew of Runaway Railway before does not apply. We're going to talk about that when we get there. But first, I think it's time. I think it's time for to say hi to these guys. Hi, guys. I think it's time for some lunch and a Tatooine sunset. I'm hungry. Oh, look, it's by. We keep running into each other.
I think you're following me at this point.
Well, I mean, I want to help. I want to support the cause.
Okay,
Yeah.
just making sure you're on the
Okay.
right side.
All right. Thank you. Thank
Where
you.
are you headed to?
I'm gonna go to get a Tatooine Sunset actually.
Understood. Just
yeah.
be careful. The market is crawling with troopers.
Is there a lot
I
there?
narrowly escaped, but
Okay.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Well, you're pretty
not
good
wearing
at
anyone's jacket
staying,
or
keeping
have blue
low.
hair, so
Oh no,
you're
yeah,
fine.
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also a lot faster than they are. So.
Are you?
Yes.
Well, they have all that heavy armor.
I also, they breathe through their mouths, fog up their lenses.
Can they
It's
even see out of those
probably really
things?
hard to find this jacket.
I don't
so
think they can see out of those things at all. Yeah.
They're doing their best. I'll give them
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah. Well, they're pretty funny too. Funny looking. Bye bye. Okay, orders placed. Hi guys. Hi. Order placed at Docking Bay 7 and at Ronto Roasters. We're gonna have a Tatooine Sunset and get my favorite thing to eat here at the Disneyland Resort. Has been for a little while now. The Kefta, the Felucian Kefta at Docking Bay 7. It's my favorite thing. I mean, it's just medium, right? It's medium. That's all. That's the vibe I'm getting right now. Crowds are medium. I'm actually waiting for my Tatooine Sunset. I don't think I've ever waited before, and there's a lineup there of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guests. That's more than usual. So medium is off. We're now medium plus is my observation. Medium plus. Actually, I'm not even sure why I called medium. Just because I was walking through the marketplace. But you look at the queue for Rise of Resistance, 100 minutes, and it looked like it was probably going to be all of that or close to it, maybe 80 or so. So yeah, definitely medium plus today. Got my Tatooine Sunset. Now on to collect my Kefta here at Docking Bay 7. Feels pretty busy. I hope I can find a spot to eat. There it is, man. The Kefta from Docking Bay 7. She's a beaut, right? My favorite. I love it. It looks even better today than it usually does for me, so I'm going to enjoy that extra special and this Tatooine Sunset on a pretty warm, sunny day. Cheers, Fresh Baked. Let's look at the tip board. This one's going to be interesting because it's going to be our first under the new, slightly modified Genie Plus situation, which we'll get to in this conversation and then later on in the show as well. Alice in Wonderland, 30 minutes. Pretty standard. Astro Orbiter, 25, pretty standard. Autopia's 5 minutes and a 2:20 return time, less than an hour. 5 minutes though. I don't believe you. I do not believe you. Big Thunder, 40, hour and a half return time, pretty standard. So far, so straight. By the way, I should point out, let's scroll back, $30. So this is, well, you know what? Hold that thought, but it's selling for $30 today. I have more to say on that. Not just the price itself, but what's been happening with the sales as well. Buzz Lightyear, 35 minutes, half an hour return time. Pretty standard, normal. Casey Jr., 5 minutes. I don't believe you. Probably have 2 trains going, so I'm guessing that's what that is. Gadget Go Coaster, 20 minutes. I don't believe you. This can't be. As crowded as it feels today, these numbers are way too low. Dumbo, 25. I mean, come on, Nemo, 30? What's happening? Haunted Mansion, there we go. Almost an hour with a return time of 8.5 hours from now. You get your Genie Plus right now. You're gonna come back at 10 o'clock. Indiana Jones, 45 minutes. It's back up. It's closed. We walked by before. Return time in 7.5 hours. You save about 20 minutes with that. Small World, 25. That's pretty high for Small World. Return time of now. Jungle Cruise, 30. It's pretty good. Mad Tea Party's 5. Winnie the Pooh, 5. Matterhorn, 65. We were in that queue earlier today. I'm doing some recon on Matterhorn. We experienced a 48-minute wait today. It was actually over the posted wait time. Didn't take long for that to happen with my Matterhorn recon. Oh my God! Audible gasp. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, 30 minutes. How is that even possible? return time in 3 hours. I have more to say on that as well, obviously, including a conversation. Remind me, I heard a conversation that I heard while I was eating my lunch. Let's see, Smuggler's Run, 70 minutes. Do you think I'm going to lose my ish when we walk by there and look at the standby queue today? Toes is closed, Peter Pan 25, I don't believe you. Pirates 20, I believe you. Roger Rabbit 45, I don't believe you. I just cannot. Man, I just can't. I don't understand. Star Tours. I don't understand because I was waiting for everything to be higher today, and not only because of how busy it is, and because those are lower than our, what we're accustomed to, and even during the summer. Star Tours 40 minutes. Rise 55 with the return time of basically now. So that wait time has gone down significantly. This is typically what happens. You see a posted wait time of 100 minutes, people are going to stay away for a little while. If you wait just a little bit, that'll go down. Just wait a little bit, it'll go down. Because people are it's self-regulating. And there you go. Storybook Night 15, and that's it. Captain never disappoints, man. That was so good. That was so good. Okay. So before we get into those conversations that I promised we would have, let's take a quick peek at Smuggler's Run. It was posted at, 55? Oh my. Look at that. It's down to 25 right now on the board. I don't know what's going on anymore. 25 and there's like nobody out here. I mean, every time I've come through here the past couple of weeks, it's been pretty hectic, pretty busy. Wait times are in the 40, 50, 60, 70 minute range. And then today it's not so bad. That's the way it's been throughout the park, which is really confusing because I was expecting it to be at least medium plus, which it has been right up until now. Now, normally this would be the point where I would have some sort of epiphany, like, oh, okay, it's the parade. That's going on right now. But we're 2 hours from the parade right now. So this is just a general malaise happening right now around the park. So fascinating how volatile things can be. It can go from 100 minutes to rise to 55, just like that. That's a 45-minute difference. In what, a half an hour, 20 minutes? So difficult to understand, predict. I mean, is this what it's? Is this the intent? So it's selling, as of a couple weeks ago, it's selling for $25. And I said in our video that we did on Fresh Baked Presents that it was going to be flex pricing, but don't worry about that because it never sells out. There's hardly any demand for Genie Plus here at Disneyland. And, there wasn't any at 25. Why would there be any at 30? And then out of nowhere, it starts selling out every day. Like immediately, the very next day, it starts selling out every day. And we're getting notifications it sold out at 11 a.m., at noon, at 1 o'clock. Now, it hasn't sold out yet today. And the flex price, well, it didn't flex up. It's at 30, which is the low end. It can flex up to 35. But it was hitting that point like almost every day the first week that the updates were done. Now part of that could be immediate enthusiasm, I thought, for Runaway Railway, which I think I'm going to save this conversation for when we get over there because I want to see what things look like at Runaway. But that's one of the reasons why I was surprised at why the standby time was so low at 45 minutes. Well, I think it was 45. And it was just, 2 hours return time for Genie Plus? 2 hours? That was surprising to me. But before we get into that, let's go to Fantasyland. Check out those dark rides. Check out if Peter Pan really is 25 minutes. Hey guys. Hi, how are you? It's my favorite part of the journey. Huh. Looks like Casey's now closed. We can add that to the list. Although the other attraction, Indy came back online, and now I forget the other one that was closed. Oh, Mark Twain. Yeah, that stayed closed. But now Casey Jr.'s closed. Crowds here are a little sticky.
Wonderland, Matterhorn.
Little sticky. Okay, Pinocchio. I don't see anybody. Hey, how are you? Hi, guys. There they are. Nothing much happening here at Pinocchio. Looks calm as can be. Snow White, very manageable. That's maybe 20 minutes, if that. Probably closer to 15.
How much is?
And Peter Pan, no, there's no chance that that's 25. The board, I'm sure, if I were to look at the tip board right now, it'll probably have updated. But that's, it's 30 from that sign right there, and then you got to add all that. So that's another 10 or 15 minutes. So it's at its usual 45 right now. I mean, I would have been, I felt like running over here when I saw the 25. Like, under what conditions could Peter Pan ever hit 25 minutes? I don't even know what that looks like. Not even at rope drop. I've waited 25 minutes at rope drop if I was just a little bit late. Toads was closed, I think, when we checked the tip board. It is open now. I see a train rolling in, so it looks like they might be taking guests soon at Casey Jr. Oh, they are. They're dropping off. Wait, was I wrong? Was Casey just not? No. No. No, 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 no. No. I am in a state of non-believing that they're operating. Or maybe that was the last train. Because it looks like we got a CM posted. Okay, I feel better now. There is a CM posted saying none shall pass. Yeah, I got it, thank you. I saw guests getting out of the train. I'm like, what the hell? Okay, so it is down. Okay. Dumbo's all you can eat right now. We don't normally come back here, but I don't know what the posted is, but it's all of it, whatever it is. That's got to be 35, 40 minutes probably. Let's go take a look. I mean, this is pretty much, this is no big deal right now. This is like the ideal crowd size for me. It's a nice balance of not too busy, but busy enough to make me happy that people are enjoying the park. And that this has got to be a profitable day for Disney, that kind of thing. It's a nice balance. Posted says 25 over there. I don't believe that. I don't believe you.
Yeah, right here.
Oh my.
Oh yeah, for you're totally fine.
Hi guys. I can't remember all the I don't believe yous now. I can't remember that we have to check in on. This was not one of them. Teacups is recording 5 minutes, which that's one rotation right there.
The rest of us, we're missing two.
We've done a test here before, and I'll remind you guys, in case you're new to the show, new to this segment, or you haven't seen me do this before, but at the teacups, I count rotations. How many times, how many cycles can you get in with the queue that I can see. And the cutoff for one cycle, you can fill all those teacups with the guests that right about where that corner is right there. So anybody inside of that corner going that direction is in. So I would say 3/4 of that queue right now is in. If I recall, I'm actually doing this from a different angle than I normally do, so I'm not positive if my eyes are telling me the truth. Or is it 1, 2, 3? Yeah. So I would guess yeah, red mini ears up there. We should get all the way to red mini ears.
It looks like our tea party is coming to an end.
All right, here we go. Now the variables, of course, are how full the cups are. If you've got a lot of, single or double type riders, or if you've got a big old group of 4. And the mini ears I was guessing are these ones right here. Looks like we can do a little better than that. A lot better than that. I'll have to, because normally I look at it from here and my eyeballs are different. But we did mini ears plus about 8 guests. Now I can't remember, was Small World 25? I want to say Small World was 25 when we checked. It says 10 now. So everything is trending down. We're not at a parade, it's just general trending down, but that does look like 10 minutes, if that. You've got hardly even a full switchback up there. It's more or less a walk-on. That's great. There's a lot of people here though. It just feels more dense and sticky than it usually does, or it has, well, I should say that it did, like, let's say, during the summer. I mean, since the Halloween season started, since fall started, it's been pretty busy. As we make our way into Toontown, under the bridge just now, the conversation that I heard earlier is indicative of what I had hoped actually would be one of the results, one of the side effects of putting Runaway Railway on Genie Plus. A guest had said she was talking about what they're going to do with the rest of their day, and Runaway Railway came up. They said, oh, well, it's on Genie Plus now. It's not paid Lightning Lane, so it's free now. It's free now. And that's the mindset that I thought more guests would have. There were people who were skipping it because it wasn't free. They didn't want to do standby. They wanted to buy Genie Plus, but they didn't want to buy Genie Plus and individual Lightning Lane. So all those guests who were using Genie Plus weren't going on Runaway Railway. Now they can. So you're going to see more people getting into the queue, more of the Genie Plus guests. That's what's causing the additional spike in Genie Plus sales, I thought, although we haven't hit max today. And that would also trigger a quick spike in the standby wait times for Runaway Railway. What I wasn't expecting to find, though, is no queue out here. We didn't see it.
Roger.
When we were walking in, I was doing a selfie, but there's no queue out here, right? It looks just like it normally does here at Runaway. It's always very busy right here. This is always a very crowded walk in. But when I got here on Friday, this was very packed. This was, the queue went all the way down to the hill. And it was into these switchbacks as well. But it's, walked right on. Oh, it was at 30 when I got here, now it's 40. Which is interesting, as I've mentioned in other updates. I had the door at 40 minutes when I was doing my time tests pre-Genie Plus, when it was paid. The door was 40 minutes, which is what it's saying now, and the queue is at the door. But now we've got this to deal with. When's the last time you saw Lightning Lane stick out the door? That's a trick question. You've never seen lightning lanes stick out the door at Runaway Railway. That's never happened. I don't even know how to process that. I don't know how it's possible that they can achieve both of these goals, service all of those Runaway Railway guests in lightning lane, and get that done in 40 minutes. But if they are, let me just go sneak in here real quick. If they can, if this is a true story, I'm going to have to test this. But if this is a true story, that is some kind of miracle, and it's a testament to the efficiency of this attraction. This is one of the biggest people eaters that Disney has ever built. Hey, how are you? In my opinion. And they're going to prove it. And, you know, like with Pirates, you could say it's a people eater because it's the boats, the constant flowing. It's not quite an omni mover, but it's a constant flow of boats. People get in and out very quickly. It doesn't take a long time to get them in and out, and there's no lightning lane. So it's a cycle of standby keeps moving and moving. It's a great people eater. But you took a ride like that and make it smaller. That has lightning lane, so that has a little bit of a harder time keeping that momentum going for standby. It still eats up the same amount of guests, it still processes the same amount of guests per hour, but standby has moments where it's not as fluid as Pirates is. Same thing like Monsters Inc. Or now Little Mermaid at DCA. If they are somehow able to serve both of these, that would be some kind of miracle, I'm telling you, because or that would be a testament, as I mentioned, to how good this attraction is of cycling guests. Incredible. Look at it, the standby queue. Where did they go? Right? So this has not stopped. I'm just totally flabbergasted. I am as flummoxed as I was last week with Smuggler's Run. I'm flummoxed. This should not be moving. If there's people here, this should not be moving unless they're actually, are they actually using a reasonable mix at the mix point? Like when it's a heavy lightning lane day for any given attraction, it could be something like 10 or 15 or 20 to 1. They'll just send guest after guest after guest after guest through lightning lane, and standby just kind of has to sit there and wait for them to clear the whole standby or the whole lightning lane queue. Is it possible they're doing something reasonable? I gotta know. What am I gonna do? I gotta know. I don't know how to process this, you guys. I really don't. I don't know how to process this. It's a small wonder. I'm looking forward to going back there and seeing what that looks like when we're done with our update from Toontown. Stand by for Goofy's Play Yard to close. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to see any of it. The construction walls are going to be obviously too high to see anything over. I can't go back there because that'll be included. I might be able to sneak a camera over the wall from Centennial Park over there. But otherwise, there's really no place. You won't be able to see it from Gadgets because there's a giant boat and a giant house in the way. My wife texted me earlier today, though. Liz texted me, she says, "Hey, David, the water feature at Gadgets is working again with Chippendale. Let's go take a look. Let's go see if she called it." What I'm talking about is, oh, there it is. Chip is supposed to squirt water through the straw, and it lands in the cup over there with Dale. And I just saw it work. I thought it did it only when these guys passed by. But no, it just did that randomly just now. Now you can see Dale is all splashed out there. Can we see that again? Oh, there he goes. 2 points for Disney on that one. I've been waiting for that to come back for a long time. It's a small thing, but it's a sign that they're, these things are on their mind and they want to fix them. I like that. Any difference? Let's just take a quick look. I'm gonna have to move this up though quickly on my recon schedule because I really just need to know. Okay, it's down to 35. Guests are still flowing in. on the Lightning Lane side, but where did they put all those standby? Golly. I am befuddled. How far can I go in? I don't want to go all the way in, but I can't even see the back of the queue now. You know what? I'm gonna go in. I'm not gonna ride, but I just have to know where the back of the queue is. Wow, it's almost into the first artifact room. Incredible. What sorcery is this? What? I mean, I don't want to make this sound like I'm complaining. Good for you. If you are able to do that, that's a magnificent achievement. That's all I can say. That is a magnificent achievement. I sure hope there's some kind of thing that they've done or are doing, or they're conscious of it or something. I don't know. Fantastic. I forgot to go check out Roger Rabbit. One of my working theories as to why Roger Rabbit had a consistently longer standby wait time than Runaway Railway, in spite of the fact that Runaway being demonstrably better, in my opinion, than Roger Rabbit, was because Roger Rabbit was on Genie Plus and Runaway Railway was on individual Lightning Lane. And that if you level the playing field, if you put Runaway Railway on Genie Plus, it would compete with Roger Rabbit. It's not even close. That's 65 minutes. Both are on Genie Plus. Now, Runaway Railway again can process significantly more guests per hour than Roger Rabbit can. So I'm going to have to assume that's the reason why. But could it be? Is there room for the possibility that more people like Roger Rabbit than Runaway Railway? That Roger Rabbit is a more popular attraction than Runaway Railway? I mean, we can accommodate, or we can account for some of that difference. But that's double. Double. I'm gonna have to. I'm just shaking my head. I don't know what to do. Am I the only one who hears that music and I enjoy it? I know it's fun to hate on Small World music, but that actually makes me want to ride Small World. It makes me miss enjoying Disneyland as just a place to be as a guest. I mean, I still do, but not as often as the rest of you. You know, a lot of times for me, it's just work, walking around and doing work and stuff, which is why I've been amping up our trip report frequency recently, because I've missed it so much. But that makes me happy, hearing that music, man. That makes me happy. All right, the sound of that Matterhorn makes me happy too. The wind. Light crowd. This is significantly less than what I found earlier today. I rode the Matterhorn today at about 10:15. It was posted 45, but the queue, this was all full. And it wound up being 48. It was posted 45, and all of this was full. That was full. So was this right here. This little part of the extended queue was full. And it even went around the corner a little bit. So that 45 already, I can tell you, is going to be closer to 30. Assuming there's no additional influence from Lightning Lane. Yeah, when we were here to the lamppost, all that was full. And it took 48 minutes. Take a quick moment to observe the subs in the lagoon. Perhaps my most favorite place to be anywhere in Disneyland. Wouldn't this look so much better if Tron was here, though? Oh, sarcasm. Of course it wouldn't. That was sarcasm. No, it wouldn't. The lagoon is perfect, just the way it is. Okay, Galactic Grill. The Galactic Grill could do business, just like Alien Pizza Planet. Sometimes I wonder, how is it possible that they could be so busy all the time? The food is so mid. I think we saw, this is one of the I don't believe yous. It was like 20 minutes posted, and it says 20 now. I'd be shocked if that's true. This is all about the math and rotations and how many you can fit. I think 30 or 35 people in a boat. So 1, 2, 3, I'm guessing 5 boats. There's 5 boats worth of people in this queue right now. So can they send 5 boats? Let's just look at this real quick. Let's just do some armchair recon off the cuff. Do you think, oh, well, they're running 2 sides. There you go. It's not often they run both sides, but they are. So you can now send guests, that cuts it in half. Now you need to process half as many boats. When it's just one boat, one side, they're not running this other side over here, then that's when you get into the 40, 60 minute range. But yeah, I can see that being the case. So there's, actually my count may have been wrong, because now that's 1 boat, that's 2 boats, that's gonna be a 3rd boat, and then a 4th boat before we even get out here. So we got 4 boats under the monorail, and then probably 3 more out there. I don't know, I guess that's possible. That's possible. By the way, another point for Disney, if we're grading them today, a point for running both sides of the Nemo submarines, because that is not typical. That is not the A plan. A plan is to run just one side of the sub, so they're acting as if, which I like to see. Meanwhile, over here on Autopia, 15 minutes is posted. There's nobody. Nobody up there at all. So while 15 is a definite bargain, I would get in a 15-minute queue for Autopia all day, but it's not even that. People are just walking straight to the bridge. So you're looking at 5 minutes maybe. By the way, here's a little tip. In most cases, if they're running all 4 lanes, you want to get in that queue, not that one. Even if it looks a little bit longer, you want to get in that queue, not that one. Because you've only got to navigate that little stretch right there, whereas the other side, obviously you got to run the whole length. So there's like, I don't know, 10 or 15 more guests you have to get through. So if it's a little bit longer on this side, do go in there. But if it's a big difference, then it doesn't really matter. But there's about a 15 guest offset. And that's fresh baked right there, you guys. That's what we're here for. That kind of information. I really enjoy that too. I hope you do too. Oh, they took all the scaffolding down. Look at that. The mountain is completely, oh not completely, almost completely scaffold free. That's great. And boy, that thing at downtown Disney sure does look like, a lot like, that tall spire on the mountain. That tall spire, where is it? I can't see, it's so bright. That one right there? Looks just like the spire that they put on top of the guitar pick stage at downtown Disney. We're looking at October 26th or 27th. I forgot to mention, when we were talking about park accessibility earlier, the conversation was almost entirely about Magic Keys, but normally I like to try to, comment about how difficult it is for a single day ticket, which is completely wide open. Single day tickets are completely wide open, except for October 27th. And I couldn't figure out why. I thought there was some reason that date had stuck in my head as being well, it's my mom's birthday, but besides that, I'm like, why is it the 27th sold out for single day tickets? Maybe that's it, because that's the day that Space Mountain reopens, which goes to show you how much people love Space Mountain. I heard somebody suggest that they were they were gonna redo the ride. That was why it was closing. They're planning on updating the ride, giving it a new skin, new theme. I'm like, that's just insane. That's just insane. There's no way that Disney would ever do that. If anything ever changed at Tomorrowland, Space Mountain will be the last thing that changes. And it may never. Space Mountain may never change, ever, at all, in any way. All right, on the home stretch, Astro Blasters, 25 minutes. Probably not a queue you want to get in right now, even if it says 25, because that number's going to go up soon. Because that's Lightning Lane, just posted. You never want to see Lightning Lane not only just sticking out of this queue, but posted like they are, like they're stopped. That's not a good sign. That's going to hold up. Stand by for sure. Oh, Star Tours has been seeing a renaissance of late. Star Tours has been busier than I've ever seen it. There was a long stretch where Star Tours was a walk-on almost every time I came by. But today it's 40 minutes. And my measuring stick for whether or not it's, popping is if it's in the extended queue back there. There's not a lot of people in there. It's not full back there, but it's in there. I think there's just one switchback going. But still, 40 minutes for Star Tours. For all these years, 38 years it's been open. Incredible. This feels weird. This feels really strange. I'd never leave on this side. I always enter on this side and leave on that side over there. Always, every time. I feel like I'm going in through the outdoor right now. Which, really, I am. Fact, Tomorrowland has the best audio, the best loop, and the best, track audio. The speeches and the spiels that you see, the pre-show spiels. Monorail, Astro Orbiter, Space Mountain, Star Tours. We saw Liz and I saw the creator last week. It was our anniversary, one of our anniversaries. We celebrate everything. But we went and saw the creator. We hadn't seen a movie in a while because they haven't been putting anything out. But I really wanted to see the creator. And Allison Janney, I think that's how you pronounce it. Janney? Anyway, she's got a major role in that film. And I'm like, all I could hear all day, every time she spoke was she's the hostess or whatever, I don't know what you call it, the spokesperson for Star Tours. Her voice, and that's all I could hear. Let's go to Frontierland and wrap this show up. It has stayed pretty mid. I was second guessing myself about my medium observation earlier, but it stayed that way. Ever since I passed Rise of the Resistance, it's been medium. Every ride wait time has gone down, and the crowds have been pretty, this is enjoyable. This is not bad. I can totally live with this. That's a good sign over there. There's nobody in that extended queue for Big Thunder. And it's light. I mean, it may not even be that. There's hardly anybody here in Lightning Lane. Standby looked pretty thin going in. I don't feel a lot of presence of guests here in the area. Normally you can feel the pressure and the density around the attraction. But this all feels really standard and easy going. I wonder, can we see Lightning Lane from the other side? Let's go take a look. Well, we can see that train, but no, we can't see Lightning Lane. We can barely see the queue at all. It's through there. If we were able to go up inside that mountain right there, we probably could. But no, so we have no idea how busy it is. Hey, how are you? How busy it is in Layton Lane right now. But if it's 30 minutes, that's pretty good. Okay, final thoughts. Really surprised at how not busy it is. I mean, it is busy, but I thought it was going to be busy. Really surprised at how light the Lightning Lane waits have been, how light most of the attraction wait times have been. Really surprised, especially at Runaway Railway, both at the standby wait time and the fact that they're not, it's only at 2 hours. Really surprised at how well Genie Plus has been selling since they raised the prices. They added 2 attractions. Hey, all right. I mean, they did add 2 attractions, and it does seem like that adding Runaway did help to spike sales of Genie Plus a little bit. I'm wondering, we're going to wrap on this thought, this theory, because it just surprised me to no end that they started selling out of these things, out of Genie Plus, after they raised the price. One of the arguments that people have had, or one of the ideas that people have suggested, is to treat Genie Plus more like what Universal does. They charge $100, but they don't sell as many. So their net is the same, but the presence to the queue, the effect on the standby queue is less, significantly less. Is it possible that Disney quietly did the same thing? Now, not significantly less and not significantly more in terms of price versus quantity sold, but are they selling Genie Plus for a little bit more and therefore selling a little bit fewer? And that fewer amount is the reason why they're selling out where they didn't before. Otherwise, I don't understand. Otherwise, and that's compounded by the fact that if you want to make the argument that it's Runaway Railway that caused that spike, then why aren't we seeing a bigger effect on the standby wait time? Why aren't we seeing a longer wait to come back? It's 2 hours. If they were selling a ton, like let's say Indiana Jones, we're issuing a ton like Indiana Jones or Haunted Mansion or Space Mountain, why is it just 2 hours where India is 9 and, hey, how are you? Haunted Mansion was 8 hours from now? Both of those things can't be true. I feel like only one of those things can be true. I would love to hear your thoughts, Fresh Baked. Tell me what you think. Did you have fun today? I did. I had a great time. I love Disneyland. I had a wonderful time. This was one of the more delightful days I've had in the park recently. And I'm going to have another one soon. Because we've got another reclosed DCA coming up. And then I've got another trip report coming up, plus obviously the aforementioned Rise of the Resistance strategy, the recon video coming up. We got a lot going on. Hope you guys enjoyed. Follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked. We're walking down Main Street. I love it. Follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked. On X at FreshBakedDisney, that's Fresh with E. And on TikTok at FreshBakedDisney. If you like our show and let us show you support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. New content going up there pretty soon. We're going to have some intimate discussions about my experiences on Rise of the Resistance and some of the sessions that I had. So stay tuned for that. And then be safe out there, guys. I love you. Be safe. Be kind. Fresh Baked.